Hello and welcome to another episode of Pop Snitch. We have just come from doing our civic duty here in New York City for early voting, and we are here to talk about Love Island, episode 16. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're excited to break down the episode. So it starts where we have these bombshells that have been plopped in the middle of the villa at this point. And to me, I feel like we almost need to call HR on the boys. They see this gorgeous Dominican woman and everyone begins speaking Spanish to her, like immediately. And I think it's interesting. She pulled all of them for a chat. She did a really good job of like coming in, but gathering her thoughts, chatting with each of them, seeing what she was into. I think the most notable reactions were Nick, Jeremiah, and Pepe. And I'm actually really excited for Jeremiah. I don't know who you see her more with, but I feel like it's the first time we learned that he's kind of a nerd, that his uncle owned like a comic book store. And I realized Huda had not asked him a singular question.
We know nothing about this man.
I know.
I mean, basically our only knowledge of him is the fact that he can follow directions from a woman, because that's all he did was from the moment one. I think that their reaction, I mean, I just would operate completely differently on the island. Like this new woman, like we've already got really gorgeous people, very smart people, people that are accomplished in their fields, all these things. And you already know these, you've built these relationships. We're already several weeks in. And the idea that I would open myself up to like a new person, even if they're attractive, especially when I know nothing about them, I think that's just so surprising to see, especially Nick and like some of the others that have been there for a long time. Like even Taylor, who's with Orlandria, was like, you know, high-fiving and yelling and yapping and all this. And I'm just like, whoa, boy.
But to touch on that, I think I saw a TikTok of someone going on a deep dive of Taylor's follows, the women that he follows. And he very clearly has a type that...
Oh my God, don't go through my follows.
And so that's kind of been touched on via TikTok. And then I think the only one that really surprised me was Nick, just with how like crazy he went in the challenge and how clear he was making it that he was into her. Because at the top of the episode, we also get that he and Sierra finally did the deed for 25 seconds. Like, the idea that I would ever announce on national television that it lasted 25 seconds is so wild.
I must say this for my boy Nick. I like the fact that no one went like shameful on that. I mean, he just owned it. He's just like, it happened. And it wasn't like this big deal. And like, I'm like, man, we may, as a culture, we may be moving forward. Like, because if that was circa 2003 when I graduated high school, he would just been eaten alive by people. You know what I mean?
I would take that to my grave.
But I would just be like, I wouldn't be telling people about it.
There's no world. I don't know if he was like getting in front of her saying anything about it, but
that's
it was
smart though. If he did, for it to be like, of course, it's Sierra. She's beautiful. Like, that's actually...
Yeah, which is
he was
the best
way to do it.
He did say like it had been like pent up and all of that, which I get. Like, you're sleeping in a room with 12 people. You aren't like handling that. But here's the thing: like, you haven't watched the old seasons of Love Island, and I've only seen like clips from the UK. They were straight up like riding each other in bed.
Oh no!
So
like while the other people are in there.
Yes, like fully.
So yeah, I don't have that past knowledge. Like, I just started watching Love Island in the Ariana Maddox days of the show.
Well, and we know that the American culture, in terms of like what we watch, like people are prudes compared to the UK, and although even there they've kind of stopped doing all of that. So I think that Hannah got a lot of scorn about the hand lick.
Where was the original? Was it Australia or UK?
I don't know the answer to that. I think it started UK and then went Australia, but I could absolutely be wrong.
Yeah. So
but yeah.
What are you feeling about I mean, I know that we talked a little bit about the new guy, but what do you think about now that he's talking to people, now that he's engaging? Where do you think he stands in the grand scheme?
I think if a man told me his favorite food was steak, I would know this man listens to Jordan Peterson, and it would be a waving red flag to me. I also think that the way he handles himself is interesting. I'm curious to see what the girls think. He does seem to have the ability to converse better than a lot of the other guys, specifically with Sierra. Like, they're able to actually chat.
Yeah,
whereas
that's
Nick is silly. I know. And Sierra's obviously like a gabber. Like, she needs someone to meet her there. I really hope that this isn't the guy. Also, apparently his brother posted this thing about how he's looking for a submissive brunette, and I was like,
no.
There's just a lot
that ain't
of
Sierra.
I know, and that's like, I don't want her to get tied up in it because that's not her vibe. So I'm concerned about that.
I mean, I think his connection and easiest connection, at least from what I've seen, is Iris, because I think like even with him, some of his manosphere coded language was kind of hitting for her. Mm-hmm. And I think she's from California.
She's from Calabasas, which is a little more conservative and
right. So I think that is probably his easiest connection and probably, as far as the show goes, the easiest for him to come in. But that really puts some people in danger depending on how they're going to do the voting off this week.
Right. Well, I thought it was interesting. He came for Iris, being like, "Oh, Calabasas, you must be rich." I'm like, "Sir, you grew up in Westchester, and you tell everyone you're from New York City. Like, get out of here."
I mean,
you're not.
That's the whole thing. Oh man, I think that we definitely should talk about this challenge, though. Completely and utterly unhinged. Literally, utterly unhinged challenge.
It was so gross. Like, I saw a guy say this on TikTok, and it's so true. Like, I felt like I was watching like a Dan Schneider Nickelodeon episode where I was like, I shouldn't be seeing this. This wasn't meant for me.
No, and I'm also, I've only watched one full season of the show, and I don't know, like, at what point does moving away from the shock value of these, like, kissing and making out challenges move on to, we really need to start determining if this is going to be a relationship or not. And I think
after Casa Amor. Well, no, first of all, it's not. And then secondly, I think the Casa Amor of it all, like, if what you have can withstand that, then you're kind of good, or you'll find like your person potentially there.
For those of people who may be listening and don't know, haven't watched a season before, what is Casa? So
Casa Amor is when essentially a bunch of bombshells are brought in at once. And in the past, all of the guys have gone to a different location with these really hot women. And then while the girls are still back at the villa, they bring in a bunch of hot guys as well. And so it's like an even number for both. However, Ariana said last night on After Sun that it's going to be the opposite, where the girls are actually going to a different location with the bombshells. And so you don't have any communication with them for a while. I want to say a week, but I honestly can't remember. And they're like coupled up.
It is significant.
Yeah. And so they couple up with people either in the villa or on the island to like sleep and all of that. And then they come back and have to say what they've done. And I agree with Ariana's perspective from last night, where she's like, I think Ace is going to like amp everybody up to do stuff. And then he's going to remain true to Shelley.
Last night were truly great on After Sun. And I never watch After Sun, and I honestly didn't think that it was very entertaining, even with what we saw last night. But she was great on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I had to watch a grown woman attempt to twerk and put her fist in her mouth.
Oh, I'm not a fan of what we saw last night. And the fact that she got up and did that, I mean, wow.
Yeah, I was not in love with that. I also really want to talk about the Huda of it all and what I saw there. They've got to get her off the island. And not just because she was causing drama or whatever, but because I don't think, so I don't know if you know this, but the bombshells, while they're waiting to like come in, they watch the show.
Yeah, that's been pretty clear.
Right, so they know what's going on. And with the guys that are already there and the guys coming, there's not a guy that's going to want to be with Huda. I mean, I really don't think there is, given the mess of it all. She's obviously a beautiful girl, and I think she's having a hard time understanding that she doesn't know how to connect with them on a deeper level because she's trying to throw herself at the new guys to try to like gain traction to stay. And the way she's going about it is diabolical. She first tries to talk to TJ, and TJ meets Iris and immediately kisses, like within the first 10, 15 minutes of knowing. So it's not like he's opposed to that. He is physically like structuring himself where he is not going to be intimate with her. And she is really finding it difficult to notice that. She keeps saying things like, oh my gosh, I can't even see. I don't even wear contacts. Oh, I got to get closer to you, trying to like touch him and get closer. And he is inching backwards.
Well, yeah. And I mean, let's even get into the Hannah and Huda of it all.
No, we will. And
which
then
is,
she obviously she goes in for a hug that's stilted with TJ, visibly grimaces like as she's hugging him. So she says, I think in a confessional, like, I don't think I'm TJ's type. And so instead of going to Hannah and being like, listen, I just want to pull Pepe for a chat. Like, I haven't really gotten to know the guys yet. I am curious to see if we have anything in common. She whispers, hey, Pepe, can we go for a chat? Whispers to him, pulls him aside, like not everyone can see what's happening, and then does the same thing where she asks him no questions about himself other than like, what did you think of me? It's like, what? And then he tells her, I really like chill girls. Like, I really like Hannah. I like her personality. And she's like, oh my God, you have something on your face. Like, she is unable to hear what she does not want to hear. And she's also really bad at asking people questions about themselves.
Well, and I think it's really concerning, you know, just the fact that Hannah was the only person who cared to even console Huda during a lot of this. And the first person that she goes after is the guy who's obviously trying to make a connection with Hannah. And then from what we saw, obviously, like, he's serious about her. He's like, he's really pushing her off. Mm-hmm. And then for her to, I think probably because of all of the other girls going to her and being like, you really messed up by not saying something to Hannah prior to, she comes over and she is just, man, gaslighting the heck out of Hannah by saying like, oh, you know, I didn't even think to do that and blah, blah. No, she did not care at all.
No.
It
she
was
also
not even
lied.
on her radar. Yes, she did.
She lied to Taylor and Alandria when she was like, well, I didn't even remember that we like had to kiss after the challenge at the end where we made out. Girl, you watched 5 other people do it. You stop. Yeah. Like, she really is incapable of... She doesn't have friends on that island. She thinks she does, but people are afraid of her. And that's why I think if she's in the bottom tonight, they'll vote her off, because people are exhausted by it and they know, like, does she deserve a connection? Of course. But because of everything that's happened, I don't think that there is a person in Fiji right now who is gonna want to couple up with Huda.
No, and I think that the idea of Casa Amor and all of that will actually exacerbate the situation, because you're going to be bringing in people who've been watching it and are like, I'm not wasting my opportunity here by trying to get involved with her. And because they all know now the thing about, you know, like, she has a child, like, they're rightfully so going to treat her a little bit differently and be thinking about that when they're trying to decide, do I want to form a connection with the woman who has a child? Because that's just, it brings, rightfully so, it brings about all of these thoughts that are not Love Island type thoughts, like settling down and creating a life together. And, you know, it's not just something to try out.
Huda would do better on something like Love is Blind that would force her to get out of her physicality. I think because she's a fitness influencer and she's a beautiful girl, I think that is how she's gotten attention. And she needs to figure out how to communicate well, because
that's a great take.
Jeremiah tells her, America did this for me, not you. And she says, you're a liar. You know, Pepe is saying, I really like chill girls. And she's like, oh my God, I can't even see. I don't have my contact. Like, no, what?
So tonight there's rumor, we're recording on Sunday. So tonight there's a rumor that they are voting off 2 people tonight.
No, they are.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So where are you at with this? Like, who's safe? Who who's in danger, and how do you think that they're going to actually make this decision?
Okay. So I think safe, Shelly, Landria, Sierra. I am curious to see about Amaya. If I had to guess who's going to be in the bottom, it would be Huda, Iris, and Amaya. Amaya, for a similar reason for Huda, just there's not a guy in the villa that's interested in them right now. Like maybe for Casa Amor there would be, but Amaya is coming on so strong every time she couples up with someone.
She has literally made Austin like turn his head in one day. He's like, she has come on so strong. She is talking to me like we're married. She is very possessive. Like he's freaked out.
Okay, but I'm mad at him, and not just that he's a Trumper. And I'm like, are you mad she's an immigrant? Like, are you okay?
No.
But seriously, I think that she gave him the perfect opportunity. She literally set him up and said, am I doing anything that's bothering you? Because she could feel the vibe. And he's like, no. And this is what pisses me off about guys who are like, I'm a registered nice guy. Tell the truth. It's so much meaner to wait and let her do more things that are bothering you and let it build up and then take her sweet little heart and break it. Like she does come on strong. Some girls do. Like I don't know what that is,
and some guys do too.
Yeah,
and it's not just a girl thing. But I will say this with Amaya, I think the bigger problem is the reactiveness on the back end. Like I think they fear especially Austin. He's a little more soft spoken. These kinds of things. I think he's a little more afraid of the reaction.
That's like coded language too, because she didn't do when Ace did that. She was just kind of like, okay. She was fine.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, she's not reactive in that way. I can see him maybe not wanting to hurt her feelings because she obviously, like, feels with her whole heart. And I actually, like, she's the one that my heart is like, oh, I'm worried about little Amaya.
No, I feel it because, I mean, she went so hard in on Ace so quickly, and he like really made a fool of himself with her, in my opinion.
He was cruel to her.
Yeah.
But now Austin's being cruel in a different way. And again, I just fear that the guys watching it are going to be like, ooh, I don't want like a stage 10 clinger if I decide to do this, you know? So I worry about Amaya, but I also think that she's got a lot of online support. Like people really like her. She's funny. So I don't know. If I had to guess, and I'll say this, if Huda's in the bottom 3, I genuinely think they're going to vote her off tonight. Like I think everybody has kind of had it. I think the Pepe thing really did her in, if that's the case. And that they'll be done with her. For the guys, I think you're looking more at guys who don't have strong connections yet. So Jeremiah, Austin, and a lot of people just don't like Ace. So maybe him. And then in that case, I fear we would lose Jeremiah just because the rest of the cast has been so frustrated by Huda and Jeremiah.
That's a good point.
So I don't know exactly. Voted for Nick and Sierra. Like those are the folks that I want to keep. And I know that they're going to go through something this week because he's clearly attracted to Andreina, but I don't know how that's going to go, because I think Sierra is going to get tired of being in love triangles with him over and over.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm trying to think if anything else happened of note that I was taken aback by. The Austin thing really bugged me. That really frustrated me at him, because I am worried for her. All right. Shelly and Ace, I think, are actually in a really good place right now. And I think they could go the distance. They're one that I'm like, maybe they could. I don't know for sure, but we'll see. I could actually see Shelly doing stuff at Casa Amor and Ace not, and that creating a wedge.
Oh, yeah, that could definitely be it.
Oh, Taylor and Elandria. Taylor, what am I thinking? I think he's going to be in the bottom. Sorry, not Ace. I think it'll be Taylor, Jeremiah, Austin. I do not think Taylor likes Elandria. I would love it if he did, if it was a slow burn, but I don't think that he does. And I'm just like, are you on vacation? Like, are you just there to hang out with your boys? He seems, when she did her twerk, all of the guys turned their heads out of respect because they're like, I can't watch this and not react, except Nick. And Taylor turned his head too, like a little weirdo. I'm like, but this is your girl. What are you doing?
He's a freak.
he's not a freak. He just doesn't, he seems like such a goofball, and he doesn't seem like he's interested in anyone there. And then when he does get interested, it doesn't seem to move into a physical connection of any sort.
So what are you excited about this week as far as stuff that we're going to watch? What are you waiting for?
Okay, well, with Love Island, I'm dying to know who's going to get voted off tonight, and I'm excited Casa Amor happens this week, and they better have some great bombshells for these girls, because they have been mid at best, and they deserve better. These girls are great. In terms of what else I'm watching, The Valley, I'm going to catch up on Next Gen. And I think that's it. Love Island is taking up a lot of my time right now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, do you have any other thoughts about the episode, or I think we got to everyone. Did we miss any of the couples?
No, I think we can wrap up, and we'll get back on Tuesday or Wednesday with an episode recapping these episodes and The Valley.
Yeah, we should recap on Wednesday, because then we could do Next Gen, The Valley, and the Casa Amor from Love Island. All right. Well, we'll see you little snitchers later.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at PopSnitchPod, and you can find all of our links at popsnitch.com.
Bye.